Is up, everybody? Okay, so in today's one, we're gonna learn how to put together a shot. This is more about thinking about it rather than every little technical detail, how to build something, and along the way, a lot of cool tips and tricks. Okay, first of all, always plan your shot. Always, this is an incomplete shot, but that's where how far this video gets to is where you see now. Unpolished, not looking great, but it's there. At least we've got all the work out of the way, and now we get to have some fun after this video. So basically, it's a way of thinking how to put this together. For me, what I did was I put together a really extremely basic sketch of what I wanted, kind of this broken down town, and just wanted to block it out. So over here you see that I've got my basic camera shot as well, which is a massive help because then I can start building for shot, and you'll see this. You'll see this in this video. So I'm just putting a ground down. I'm using mega scans. You can use anything you want, whatever assets you have, and I'm just putting down rubbish, really, just stuff that I can start having some sort of a base to start with, some sort of a land. And I'm starting to think about here where I'm going to start putting things, what I want to see, how I want to see this done, and just the basics of putting down assets, seeing if assets fit together, and if they don't, tweaking them so they do fit together. You want this kind of dangerous, kind of a little bit scary scene where when the camera rotates around the character, the camera rotates around. Ari, stop it! I told you not to get involved, you bastard. We want to see how different the scenery can look, so it's not boring. Remember, when you're planning a shot, you don't want to make things boring. You want to have something exciting in every kind of camera angle that you do. You want to set a tone. You want to help people understand the settings or the environment, what's happening, and you want to make it look damn cool, man. It's like Margaret in a bikini. It's scary. It really is. Damn it, Ari. So over here, I've got like this kind of a place. I've got this building, and these were all free along the way with Epic. So if you did get a lot of free assets, you would have a lot of these assets. So I'm just planning, and I want this kind of place where they've built these sheds on top of broken buildings, and a place where they're trying to live in, all kind of like this shanty town, kind of like a shanty town, and that's where I start to build. And you can see I use a lot of different assets. I try a lot of different things. A lot of the time, it just doesn't work. And over here, I'm just putting these horrible, big assets. It doesn't have to look perfect now. It's a blockout. So you're kind of just laying out anything you have just so you can block the scene out. Doesn't matter if it doesn't look good right now. It's not supposed to. This is just supposed to be really fun. Enjoy yourself. That's the biggest thing that people never get right, is they try and rush through things. Instead of rushing through it, learn to enjoy the process. And that's what this is. You're enjoying the process, and you're trying to make something not accurate but plausible, right? Little bits of concrete under the houses, so it's flat land. These things are really awesome, man. I don't know where I got these. Where did we get these? But they're great, man. Was this from Cargo? I don't know. But great little assets, man. You can start putting these things in, and notice the way that I don't mind if assets go through other assets. It doesn't matter. You're working towards a shot. So everything you do here, everything we do in the media is smoke and mirrors. It's not supposed to be accurate. It's supposed to be plausible. You're trying to sell the shot. And that's the most important thing when you're working on a scene. First, you must have a basic storyboard. Man, you can have 3 pictures of line drawings, stick figures, just so that you know kind of what you want to do. You have your character, then you have your shot. That's the most important. Get a rough. Doesn't have to be accurate, and some angles may change later. But look, I've got it. I can see right away. I can see rocks are interfering, so I either got to change the camera or put the assets in a different place, and that's okay. So now I can start seeing the shot. What I'm going to be seeing. Look at that. Boom. Epic. What a cool little thing to see. And that's what we're building. So you get your basic camera right. You need to. It will save you days or months. It'll save you a lot of time because this allows you to build the environment according to the shot. If you try and build an entire environment and it's for a camera shot, you'll waste so much time and you won't see 90% of what you've built, right? And then you want to go back and start doing the camera again and making other shots so you get everything in. This is a terrible way of working, and it's also not great. That's one of the biggest things I had to learn about being an artist is when you build something, all artists want to show everything they've built, and this kills a shot. A shot is meant for a certain part or telling a certain story, and you need to get rid of all of the fat around it. In other words, if I build a character and I put all the detail in the laces of the shoes and the heels and everywhere where I don't need, and then I think I've done all this work, I'm gonna show the entire character, you're gonna lose so much. Then if you have a close up of just like maybe a bit of the chest and the head or a close up of the eyes, you've lost all that work. And you need to learn to do or to use cameras. Remember, camera is the most important part of your shot. It is the most important character of your shot. Your camera is the character. And what you show, what you're trying to get across is that impact or that the main point of what you want to show. So everything else is nothing more than crap around it, and start to understand that. So over here I'm just starting to build just more of these things, and look, they go through each other, but look what they look like all together. And it's quick, it's fast. Get a bunch of cool assets that you can use and use them. And over here I can start seeing, look how nice that part is. It's beautiful. I may change the camera later, which is fine. I got a tree, I got open sky, I've got buildings, I've got a lot of cool things. And over here I'm just setting up the light. I'm starting to adjust the lighting roughly. I don't need anything fancy right now, but I do want to get the basic lighting. And over here I'm using Ultra Dynamic Sky. It's an awesome plugin. It's a sky. You bring in a sky, you can make it rain, hail, storm, snow, whatever the hell you want. And it comes with a bunch of awesome nodes for dripping water, which you'll see later. We're going to turn this into a kind of a rainy scene. But here I'm just getting like basic lighting, right? And Ultra Dynamic Sky is such a nice way of lighting. But it's not all your lighting. Over here you can see I'm using a rectangle light to bring out more features. Lighting is vital for realism or things looking great. Over here you can already see that nice light I put in. Look, over here I'm changing the light a bit, getting highlights in the hair now. Look at this light, starting to get like just nice lighting. Remember, lighting needs to be plausible. It doesn't have to be realistic. We live in a total media world. Now this part you saw me in the last tutorial, how to put Daz clothes onto a Metahuman figure. And I'm just adjusting. Remember, most of your shot comes from comping. It's not, it's everything working together. If you're getting things looking good, it's about compositing that material to make it look good. The right roughness, the right specular, the right shades. You need to tweak all your materials to comp nicely inside of your shot. It's so important, and no one understands that. Well, not a lot of people realize it's your materials that you comp into your shot. It's good to have like attributes that you can change on your master material or your instances. And over here, I'm just looking again, starting to fill in gaps, starting to put in these big ass buildings. This is also from Kitbash, from Cargo, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Over here, I wanted it to go down, and so you can see like kind of like a hill, and you can see a little bit more buildings in the background. It gives it depth, it gives it size. It's really nice. So over here, I'm kind of building like a plinth for roads. Remember, surfaces aren't flat. They go up, they go down. There's divots, there's big holes, there's whatever. Surfaces aren't flat. That's very boring. Don't put a flat environment in your scene. It never looks great, man. Never looks great, honestly. Put like kind of roads going up, roads going down, steepness, hills, valleys, all this kind of thing. Put inside your environment. Margaret! What? I don't like watermelon, Margaret. I told you I like oranges. All right, so over here now we start to filling a bit of the details, right? We've got like a kind of a level that starts to work, and now we're just fleshing it out. Remember, this isn't a polished version. This is still just gray boxing, but I've done a basic gray box. I know what I want around me, and now I'm just testing things and cleaning things as I go. I'm messing with the light again because I want that perfect lighting on him. He is the most important thing of the shot, not the environment. So he needs to be lit beautifully. And over here you can see he pops out. He pops out because you've got like these kind of plausible rectangular lights around him that later will make coming from the scene. And it works. And now you start getting these cool silhouettes of broken structures in the background, beautiful tree, and you start getting a shot that starts looking like something, which is awesome. Once again, if you can get a hold of Kitbash or any free assets from Megascans or Unreal, you're sorted. Or go buy yourself one or two really good kits. I'll mention a couple of great kits in the back a little later, whatever. Like Scans, anything from Scans. These buildings that you see here on the right hand side, these are from a creator called Scans on the Fab Store, and they're amazing. They're a little pricey, but they are amazing. Beautiful. So here we go. Now we start to bring the lighting a bit down. I got a bit of fog, volumetric fog in there. That comes straight off Ultra Dynamic Sky, or if you want, just add a fog layer from Unreal. That's very easy. In your actor section, just search fog, and you can put one in. And over here, from Ultra Dynamic Sky, I've enabled rain, and it's that easy. You click a button, and it starts to rain. You've got those cool kind of wisps of water, along with the rain, along with lightning and thunder in the background. You can change everything and anything. And over here, now I'm starting to light my environment and pick the places. You don't want everything lit. You want these interesting points where you can start adding things. Now I love this plugin. It is called, what is it called? Let me look for the name. It is called String Light Plugin. And what this allows you to do is you get a spline, and you can just create closed systems, open systems, whatever the hell you want. Click a button, it's all dynamic, and you can just create lights on them. As many lights as you want. Cool light bulbs. And you can add lights to the light bulbs. You can do whatever you want. According to how good your machine is, you can go crazy with this, with dynamic lighting, blowing in the wind, physics on the ropes. It's an incredible plugin. I love this one, and I try and use it where I can. So over here, it adds that beautiful, interesting, these lights in this derelict city, and you can have a lot of fun with those. Enjoy these, string them around places. Got a couple of trees, look at that. just putting them in the background. These trees all should also be free. These are the epic trees. If you look up like European beech, common hazel, European hornbeam, and Norway maple. There's a couple from these guys. European black elder. They were free when I got these. I don't know if they are now. They're amazing and they're beautiful. Now over here, I'm adding the wet node from Ultra Dynamic Sky into my materials. And what this does is it allows for drips. If you look at my Ultra Dynamic Sky tutorials, I show you how to use these. And there's some incredible nodes there that you can use with your materials to make like rain dripping off of objects or hitting objects or ripples on objects. It's pretty cool. If you're using, I highly recommend you use like a couple of master materials for your project. And then if you put those in the masters, they'll go through all your instances. Try to stay away from using 1,000,000 master materials for a project. It helps in so many ways, just condensing it down to a handful of master materials. And over here, you can see that I've got splashes, I've got beautiful lights. I'm still lighting areas. You see what lighting does? You highlight areas of interest just to give it that depth, that beautiful depth. I'm copying and pasting my lights, just duplicating them, putting them around, and just seeing how my shot starts to feel. So I can see that we're extremely far from finished. His animation goes through his body non-stop. His animation needs cleaning, which we'll get to, and we need to polish off the level really well. Over here, I'm using that material again. I'm just making instances and using the roughness on a lot of these just to make them look wet. So I'm using roughness on the floor. You see there's liquids. I'm using, once again, I'm just using like I've got this pack of liquids that I can put around here, and that's how I use that. You can make this very easily, or you can put into like a blend material. If you're using mega scans and use a blend of materials, it'll automatically give you a water level that you can paint onto any object. Over here, once again, Ultra Dynamic Sky give you these kind of particle systems that allow water dripping, which is incredible. You put these around an area where rain should be falling from, and you're golden. It looks great. So now we've finished the blocking. We kind of polishing or starting to polish each shot now, where the camera is only. And we're starting to put all these little kind of, not polishes, but more details. Over here I'm using that string light again, which I love. Look at the detail it gives some of your assets. And because it's a rainy, windy scene, we need to make everything windy. The trees come with a beautiful function that you can make everything move at once. And you can add wind to all the trees in your scene if you're using these Quixel trees. These lights also come with a function where you can add wind to them. So if it's a stormy shot, things need to feel like they're moving. The trees need to move. The lights need to move. Anything that can move needs to move. I want to animate a couple of things, just animated moving in the wind, plastic bags, things like this, dust. I don't know how much dust there would be in a scene in this, but, you know, things flying through the air to really give it that. His hair now has dynamics on it. In the next tutorial, I'll show how we put wind, or how to add wind to a Metahuman's hair, which is going to be pretty cool. And from there, we can see our shot. It looks like Ari. Ari's not that good looking, though. Ari looks like a pure knob, a wanker, if you will. But, you know, Margaret looks the same. Disturbing. Right, and here's the shot. You can see arms going through, fingers look like crap. I've changed the roughness on his skin to look a little bit more like rain. His hair's flowing a bit all right in the wind. Good start. And we start getting our shot. There's our entire shot playing. Still got to fix up the materials on him. But look, now we start to see a shot. Remember, you're showing off a shot with some nice environment. I don't have all the lights in, but now I've got layers in the background of buildings. Over here, an aeroplane will be flying past. We'll add that. We'll add that soon. But we've blocked the scene out now. It's looking good. I hope this helps, Ari. And I hope you have a great weekend. And, shout if there's any questions. Does this help? Does it not help? Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Bye, guys.